Welcome back to the games you could be playing instead of Call of Duty series. I've got some quite quirky games for you today. I'm really happy with how the first video came out, so let's keep the momentum going. I just recently moved into a new home and wow, I feel just so much better. My life is basically starting all over again, just me and my two brothers. As usual, I'm going over games that flew over most people's radars, are dirt cheap or free to play, and are games that you can play if you're on a budget. I also figured out how to record more higher quality gameplay footage. During episode 1, I noticed that some of my footage was pretty blurry and pixelated, and once I noticed it, I couldn't forget about it. It was honestly very distracting. But I figured it out, so this video should look better. This is just part of the process of learning how to make better videos. Baby steps. So let's get right into it. This is going to be one of the more complicated games to talk about. Starting off with one of my most favorite games, Starnova is a free-to-play anime third-person / first-person shooter for PC and mobile developed and published by a small studio called iDreamSky. So, it's a third-person shooter, but you can also aim in first-person. It has hero shooter mechanics, with a bunch of cute characters to play as, and there's a singular mechanic that makes this game play way differently than every other game I've played, and that's the Stringify mechanic. It's basically a mechanic where you make your character turn two-dimensional in a 3D space. It's so fucking weird. Who came up with this? This is used for multiple purposes. You can stick yourself on walls and climb up them, increasing the verticality of every map. You can glide across large distances, and even use this to dodge bullets and other projectiles. This increases the skill ceiling quite a lot, and makes the game much more competitive as a result. The game becomes just as much about the Stringify as the actual gunplay, because if you get good at the Stringify mechanic, you can gain a significant advantage over the enemy as they waste all their bullets trying to kill you, which means if you're good enough, you can just do things like this.
Great work. Resume operation. Pulse blade activated. Beam weapons enhancement cannot activated. Be stopped. I'm here to help. I still remember. Betrayed me. Two down. Watch the left.
There are currently 23 agents in this game, each one with their own special abilities and primary weapon. My most favorites being Chio, who can fire arrows that explode, Leona, who can throw up walls that are bulletproof, Yugiri, who can activate poisonous gas that melts through armor, Madalena, who gets a paintball gun that disables Stringify, and Meredith, who can shoot out sandstorms that slow down enemies and drain their health. There are 9 game modes, including Search and Destroy, Deathmatch, and Payload from TF2, which is my personal favorite. The game has a buy system similar to Counter-Strike, with currency you get from killing enemies, but instead of buying weapons, you instead buy upgrades for your character, like more armor, less recoil, faster reload speed, faster ability cooldowns, and taking less damage while using Stringify, kind of like a MOBA game. This is one of the most fun games I've played in quite a while. The hit detection is a bit wonky, although that's probably because every character model is so skinny, and people spam Stringify like friggin' crazy. It's genuinely easier to hit shots in third person than first person, but the catharsis of working with my team, dodging bullets, gliding around each map, and timing utility correctly, there isn't really anything else that satisfies that itch for me besides Overwatch and Paladins. The Stringify mechanic alone makes this game play so much more differently than every other shooter that's on the market right now. The game has its own friend list system where you can invite up to 4 other people into a lobby and play together. There's also 5v5 ranked, which is basically Search and Destroy from Call of Duty. Because this is a free-to-play game, there are a fuck ton of cosmetics, ones that you can earn by just playing, ones that you buy outright, and others are, of course, locked behind a gacha system. God fucking damn it. You also have to either earn in-game currency to get the agents you want to play as, or just buy them outright, which isn't expensive, but I still don't like this, to be honest. The game, as usual, also has a battle pass and events as well. The monetization is the biggest problem I have with this game, and it can take quite a while to find a match depending on what you're looking for. And yet this game is just so fun, and there was clearly a lot of care put into it. Every character in this game is pretty charming. The developers went out of their way to give a handful of them fleshed out backstories. There's something about this game that gives me a pretty cozy feeling. It is one of the quintessential waifu shooter games. I could have bought Forza 6 instead of the Chio skin.
Yeah. No, my.
Oh my god. How much money did you actually spend on that? Bro, oh my god.
Oh my.
He has the skin.
3,
That actually
2,
got funny.
1.
Waifu first
Defend your
always. Hell, just listen to the main menu music. It is just chef's kiss. There's also a bond system for characters like Yvette and Celestia, where you can get special skins for them when you get their bond level to 10, which you do by playing matches and earning items that you can gift to them. And as you play, you learn more about them, even with cutscenes that looked ripped straight out of a visual novel.
So warm. Could you pat my head again?
The game is very well optimized, and there are a lot of settings to tweak, like customizing your minimap, crosshair, and sensitivities for the various scopes in the game, as well as being able to default first-person or third-person aiming to right-click. There's supposed to be a console port of this game. It was announced as far back as late 2024. It's now May 2026, and there still hasn't been much of anything as of yet. I genuinely hope it didn't get cancelled, because it's a really good game. Knocked one?
Bruh. What the hell? What are the morons on the team, bro?
Up the Bimo.
No way. He's fucking
Knocked another one?
Knocked
Knocked 3? Oh, clutch, baby.
Armor is strong enough for this. You're no match for me. Look. I'm glowing. I didn't even break a sweat. My snail is rested and ready. You pathetic weaklings.
There aren't a whole lot of people playing this game, so there are some bots in the matchmaking, so keep that in mind, or just play ranked, which I started to do. If this did come to console with crossplay, then I think that would definitely help with the player numbers. Definitely give this game a try. I love it. Fragpunk is a free-to-play first-person competitive shooter for PC and console with crossplay available. It was developed by Bad Guitar Studios, but published by fucking NetEase again. I love this game, but out of all the games that I'm going to be talking about in this series, this is one of those games that I'm going to not only have the hardest time talking about, but also one of those games that you might be the least convinced in trying, despite how good the gameplay actually is. And that's because this game also plays way differently than every other shooter. This game is not just a tac shooter, it's not just a hero shooter, but it's also a card game. I'm not kidding. Imagine a shooter but with fucking Yu-Gi-Oh cards. That's basically what this game is. There are almost 400 cards in this game, and these cards can drastically change how the game is played. Let's take the main mode for example, Shard Clash. It is a 5v5 one life only bomb defusal mode like in Counter-Strike. However, at the start of every round, each team can choose up to 3 cards, which are randomized every round, each one doing different things, which means that no singular round will ever play the same, and depending on what you choose can really fuck over the enemy unless they counter you with something even worse. Some of the more ridiculous cards being ones like equip a turtle on your back to block bullets from behind. Both teams can only use melee weapons. A friendly red hog follows you, knocking down and disarming enemies. Allied heads become invulnerable flames. What the fuck? Heavy rain creates flooded areas that slow down enemies. Block A or B main with a destructible barricade. A healing shark follows you, restoring your HP. Place a glow-in-the-dark dinosaur that exposes nearby enemies. Your killer must take a 5-second math quiz, and if they answer incorrectly, they die. So, I think you can see just how fucking ridiculous all of this is. But at the same time, I have friends who understandably don't like the idea of the card system because, let's be real here, it is a bit overly complicated. For me though, this system can result in a lot of hilariously stupid moments for both teams. The gunplay is also very easy to grasp. You can move and shoot at the same time, and there's also an ADS mechanic. The gunplay is stupidly good in this game. Hit detection is fine, the guns sound very nice and have great feedback, and I love all the fancy effects when you get kills on people. This game just oozes style. You can tell they put a shitload of effort into the presentation. The art style genuinely reminds me of the Miles Morales Spider-Verse movies. This game is just very pretty to look at. Just look at some of these intro FMVs for the characters. Now let's look at the modes. There are quite a lot of them: Shard Clash, Deathmatch, 1v1s, private matches, Outbreak, which is basically Infected, and a ranked mode. In Shard Clash, if the score reaches 3-3, both teams enter a series of 1v1s until one team is left standing. There's also a firing range where you get to test out the various characters and weapons. If you're intimidated by the card system, I honestly don't blame you, because the cards can make or break the entire game, and there isn't really any mode where the cards are just disabled. If you can get past that, I think you would enjoy it. There's also a PvE mode where you can play either solo or with friends, called Toy Frontline. Imagine Plants vs. Zombies but with shard cards. You can make your own deck or choose a preset loadout. You gain points by killing enemies, then you use the points towards cards to put down traps like spike floors, turrets, lightning towers, etc. Just like Stranova, you have to earn in-game currency to unlock some of the Lancers, or just spend pocket change to get them. Again, I do not like this system. I feel like for a game like this, with as much monetization as it already has, we should just have all the characters unlocked by default. If you're trying to get new people into the game, they should just be able to play whatever characters interest them. That's pretty much how you get people to stay long term. It's how they determine whether they want to keep playing and even spend money on the game. First impressions are everything when it comes to these types of games. Also, this game is very well optimized. It's an Unreal Engine 5 game, but it's probably the most polished UE5 game I've ever played. The Steam spec requirements say that the game needs to be installed on an SSD, but I have this game installed on my HDD and it still works perfectly fine, albeit textures can take a second to load. Rogue Company is a third-person shooter for PC and console, developed and published by Hi-Rez, the same company behind Smite, Paladins, and Realm Royale. This is a game I've been playing since the beta all the way back in 2019, and I still love it years later. It's pretty fast-paced, the time to kill is a bit on the slower side, meaning gunfights are pretty rewarding, the hit detection is spot on, the movement is very snappy and responsive, and the maps are greatly designed. Like Stranova, there is a buy system where you buy and upgrade your weapons and also purchase perks that boost your character mid-game. Unfortunately, this game hasn't been updated in the longest time, which is why the player base basically dwindled by this point. And unlike the previous two games I talked about, this game does not have bots in its matchmaking, which means that this game needs players in order to be playable. Thankfully, because this game has crossplay, you can still find matches in a decent amount of time. The reason why this game was sunsetted was because the team who worked on the game was reduced down to a skeleton crew. The same also happened to my beloved Paladins, mainly due to having to assist in all hands on deck development on Smite 2, and look how well that turned out. I genuinely wish that Rogue Company was given another chance, because aside from Paladins and Smite, this is the best game they ever made in my opinion. Even all these years later, I have a really good time with it, and I'm happy that people are still trying to keep it alive. This game plays like a slightly slower paced Call of Duty game, it's just very well made. You can do a quick roll with the push of a button, which is very effective for dodging bullets and other projectiles, not to mention you can quickly get into cover. And with the single press of the E key, you can shoulder swap, which is necessary for peeking around corners or if an enemy is on a specific side. It even has that mechanic from Call of Duty where shooting a suppressed weapon keeps you hidden on the minimap. And speaking of weapons, there are a lot of weapons in this game, from SMGs to sniper rifles, from LMGs to shotguns, and each character has their own weapon, but this game does something a bit differently. The game has a weapon mastery system where you can complete challenges to rank up your weapon, and doing so lets you unlock camos for the weapon. However, if you get the weapons level to rank 5, then every character in the game can start using it, which is pretty awesome. You're basically rewarded for putting time into the weapons you like to use. Melee weapons are particularly very fucking annoying in this game, because they can be thrown, and if it hits someone with 100 HP or lower, it's basically a one-hit kill, so the only way to tank it is to play a character that can wear armor. Also, there's quite a handful of lag in this game, probably because most of the people who play this game still are on the east side of the world. There are a lot of characters to play as, but each one feels useful in their own ways. I wouldn't say there's a particular character that I would consider to be broken, and that's a good thing. But because of the low player numbers, matches can sometimes be really goddamn sweaty, as there are people who have been playing this game since 2019 as well. I also have very fond memories of playing this game with close friends when this game was in its prime, friends that I still talk to all these years later. Maybe I'm blinded a bit by nostalgia. It's a free-to-play game and doesn't have any pay-to-win garbage in it. My biggest complaint would be how excruciatingly long it takes to rack up enough in-game currency to unlock the other characters. You're almost forced to spend a bit of money on them. I also don't like how you can't chat in the lobby screen. The last time I played this game, I met some pretty cool teammates and we added each other, and yet I couldn't chat to them after our match so that I could maybe give them my Discord or my Steam username. And yet, there is an in-game chat, so why not have one in the menu? There are also a bunch of game modes, including a short tutorial of the basic controls and even a firing range. Despite this game's issues, I'd still recommend giving it a try. It barely costs any storage space, it runs great, and it's a decently fun time. The crossplay really does help with the game's low player numbers. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this and perhaps got interested in the game's showcase today. I don't like asking for likes and subs, but if you did enjoy listening to me ramble about games I like to play, then share it with a friend. I don't know how else to end this video, so,
Oh, my balls!